So all y'all that was taking bets, y'all won. Okay, y'all won. How much y'all win? How much y'all bet on me? How many of y'all said I was gonna relock my hair? Because I remember one comment on my combing out my locks video, and someone was like, let's take bets to see how long it take before she come back and lock her hair. Y'all won, okay? I give it to y'all. Y'all won.
As the sun shines on all of my glory, my flaws don't look so bad at all. What was I so afraid of?
Hey everybody, it's Sharmel. Welcome back to my channel. Welcome back to another video. We're not gonna beat around the bush. We're gonna get right into it, y'all. As you guys can see from the title, as you guys can see from looking at me, I have decided to start another loc journey. This is my second set of locks. If you guys have been around, I locked my hair for the first time in 2020. I had my locks for 3 years. I decided to comb them out last summer, so summer of 2023. I was back to my loose hair, to my loose natural hair for about 6 months, I guess you can say, y'all. And now I have returned to the loc community with a new set of locks. I know this set looks a lot different than my previous set. It looks a lot different from my previous starter locks. And we're gonna get into all that. We're gonna get into the details of everything. However, I do have another video coming that's going to be the full process of this new set of locks. So yeah, you won't see the full process or hear about the full process now, but I do have that video coming. But yeah, y'all, I'm sure many of you guys are wondering, I'm sure I'm gonna get a comment like this because I've already got it in real life. So I'm sure many of you want to know, like, what was the point of combing out my previous set of locks if I was just going to relock my hair? So first and foremost, y'all, I did several videos telling you guys the reasoning behind my decision of combing my locks out, but I will do just another quick synopsis for you guys. So I want to make it very clear, I did not comb out my first set of locks because I didn't like locks. I didn't like myself with locks. I think my first set of locks were beautiful. It was a beautiful set. Overall, I thoroughly enjoyed my loc journey. It was new for me, it was different for me, but I fell in love with it, and I feel like locks overall really complimented me. However, y'all, like I said, it was a few reasons, but I feel like the reasons at the forefront were just boredom and curiosity. And I specifically remember in my 3-year update when I announced that I was going to be combing out my locks, I remember specifically saying that it was just an itch that I needed to scratch. And I'm the type of person, once I make my mind up on something, I'm gonna do it. And that's exactly what I did. At the time, I was really missing like braided styles. I wanted braids so bad. I feel like the entire time that I was locked, the style, I tell y'all all the time, the style that I miss the most with my locks is braids. And I wanted some braids, y'all. And then also, by like the second year of my first set, I knew that that was a set of locks that I wouldn't have forever, if we're being completely honest. So if you guys have been following my channel, especially from the beginning, like, I documented my whole journey with my first set of locks. And when I first started my first set of locks, it was a new experience for me. I had like zero real experience with locks. I did as much research as I possibly could before starting my loc journey. However, it was still a lot of like learning as you go type of thing. And so as I continued on my loc journey, as I just learned more about locks in general, as I learned more about my hair, as I learned more about like what parts of the loc journey, what parts of locks I like and dislike, there were just a lot of things that I felt like I wish I could have done differently. And the thing is that, like, once you commit to your journey, like, you're pretty much committed to it. I know many of you probably felt like nothing was wrong with them. However, there were little details here and there that I didn't like. And so I've talked about a lot of these things before, even going back to like my first year in my loc journey. I remember doing a video titled Things I Don't Like About My Locks. And so one of the things that I didn't like about my locks was the foundation. So I started my first set myself. I started them with 2-strand twists. I parted my hair. I did all of that. It wasn't bad, right? Again, if I still wanted those locks, I would have still had those locks in today. The set wasn't bad, but there were just like imperfections in like just the foundation, in the parting size. Like in the back, it was parted really big, and then towards the front, it was parted a lot smaller. In the middle, in this section, some of the parts were really wonky. Because it was parted so large in the back, I had a lot of locks in the back of my head that were really thick. I don't want to say really thick, but they were a lot thicker than like the locks in the front of my head. During my loc journey, I realized that I really enjoy like the styling aspect of locks, and so certain styles, those thicker locks, I don't want to say it was impossible to style, because they obviously weren't, because I still styled my hair. But those were just like little things that I kind of picked up on that I didn't like about that set of locks. Because it was parted larger in the back, I feel like it was a little spacey and gappy in the back. So if I would wear my locks, say I would wear half up, half down, it just felt like it wasn't a lot of locks hanging in the back. I'm gonna try to find some pictures to show you guys what I'm kind of talking about. Also, a few months before I started that set of locks, I had colored my hair, and I absolutely loved coloring my hair throughout my first journey. Like that was one of the highlights of that journey. However, over time, it just becomes just like a lot of maintenance. It can be a lot of hassle. I'm not gonna tell y'all how many times like I almost turned my locks green. Like a lot of locks had really funky colors because of me constantly coloring and recoloring and removing the color. And even when I would color them like dark, or if I would try to correct it over time, it would still fade. And it's like once it fades, you really have no control over how it fades. And yeah, y'all, it just started to become a lot of work maintaining the color with my locks. That's why when I combed them out, one of the first things I did was get like a professional color correction. Again, I love that first set of locks, but to me, for me, especially because they was in my head and I was the one looking at them every day and doing stuff with them, there was just a lot of things that I felt like I wanted to redo and fix, and I feel like the only way to really fix those things was to start a new set. And so now on to my new set of locks. So let me get this out the way too. I didn't relock my hair because my loose hair was too much work or it was too high maintenance. I feel like that's a narrative that constantly comes up about people like making the decision to relock their hair after they lock their hair. That was not the case for me. As someone who's been doing my hair literally since I was like a preteen, I have always done my hair. So in general, I've never felt like my hair was a burden. I never felt like the maintenance of my hair in whatever stage was like a burden to me. Like I enjoy doing my hair. So I didn't relock my hair because I was tired of the maintenance from loose natural hair. I loved being back to my loose hair. I love being able to run my fingers through my hair. I love being able to just have unlimited access and freedom to do any style that I wanted. But like with most things in life, there are always going to be pros and cons. And so I think the main thing for me, something that I didn't realize, I definitely like underestimated how much I had grown and matured during my first set of locks. So I was locked for 3 years, and I feel like 3 years really isn't that long. However, it was definitely like a 180 in my life in those 3 years. For example, when I first started my loc journey, I was still in my 20s, opposed to when I combed them out, I was in my 30s. There was a lot of changes in my lifestyle. There were a lot of just personal things that had happened to me within those 3 years. So when I combed out my locks, I just kind of assumed that I would just fall back into doing the things that I was doing to my hair pre-locks. But what I realized, like who I was before I started my locks compared to who I was after I combed them out, I just was a new person. I was just a different person. And as a whole, I still enjoy just the creativity of black hair and the things that we're able to do with our hair. But yeah, I did some styling here and there. It just didn't feel like, or I guess I wasn't as interested in it as much as I was like before I started my loc journey. And so yeah, I just feel like it was different. Not that there was anything wrong with my loose hair. One thing I don't like about my loose hair, I tell y'all all the time, like, it was real boneless. Like, I liked getting a silk press, but one thing I hated about my silk press is that my hair was really thin. Like, I don't know, my locks just really made me think like I had the thickest hair in the world, and I feel like once I combed them out, like, I was reminded like, girl, your hair is really not that thick. I didn't like that aspect. But yeah, just in general, like, I don't know, it just felt different, I guess you could say. And so even though I made the decision to comb out my first set of locks, I knew that at some point in time that I would probably return to locks again. I just didn't put a date on it. I didn't want to tell you guys like, oh yeah, I'm getting ready to comb them out, and then in a couple months or a month from now or next year or a year from now, I'm gonna lock my hair again, because I really just wanted to fill out the experience, enjoy it without like putting certain expectations or time restraints on it. And I just have the mindset of like, when I'm ready, I'll know. And so definitely by the end of 2023, I started to kind of have feelings again of like, maybe I'm ready to relock my hair. And so at the beginning of this year, I did faux locks. I did those messy boho faux locks, very pretty. And I feel like at that point I was like, yeah, I definitely miss my locks, and I think I'm ready to return. And so yeah, y'all, I'm back. This new set is definitely going to be a completely different journey compared to my first set of locks. And so for a while I was planning on starting like the traditional way, getting traditional locks. I was gonna braid my roots and then leave the ends curly, and then I would just kind of retwist from there because I wanted to keep like my natural curls at the end. But when I finally made the decision at the beginning of the year to actually relock my hair, I decided to go with a different method. So as you guys can see, I am starting this set of locks with lock extensions. Y'all, we done been down this road before. I know people have their varying opinions about lock extensions. However, y'all, I'm gonna be honest, where I'm at now, like, I just feel like going through the full lock journey, it's not what I wanted right now. Just to be completely honest and to keep it simple, I loved my first loc journey. I feel like at the time I needed that experience for the things that I was going through in my life at that time. It's a one-of-a-kind experience. However, where I'm at today, being that I've experienced before, and then just thinking about the things and my plans for this year, going through that full process, it just wasn't going to fit into my calendar this year. And so yeah, I decided to start this journey with lock extensions. This is not my first time working with lock extensions. If you guys know, with my first set, I did add lock extensions to my pre-existing locks, but I was also like 1.5 years into my journey when I added those. So for the most part, my hair had already went through like their maturation process, whereas this time, yeah, I'm kind of starting from ground zero. So I've officially been locked for about like 3 days, I guess you can say now. I did do this myself, and it was a process. I feel like it was like a week-long process. Obviously, I wasn't working at it the whole week, but just the way that I spread it out, it took me a week to go from loose hair to this. So just to make things simple and easy for me to keep up with, I'm gonna make my start date for this loc journey February 1st. So yeah, y'all, my new official loc day is February 1st. I know there's a lot of opinions and assumptions about people who go the lock extension route, but as someone who's done the traditional route before, although I feel like you get the instant look of locks going the lock extension route, this is definitely still going to be a process. I can just tell. I personally have never like seen or felt like instant locks or starter lock extensions in real life. Like, obviously I've seen them online and things like that, but I've never actually touched them or felt them or anything like that in real life. And so I feel like you just kind of assume that it's just automatically like a mature lock. But when I touch these, y'all, it's still very soft. It definitely doesn't feel like a fully mature lock compared to how my locks felt when they were fully mature. This definitely ain't it. This feels like how my locks felt when I was like 3 months into my loc journey the first time around. 3, maybe 4. I'll give it 3 to 4 months into my loc journey. And so yeah, I know that this is still going to be a process and a journey. So yeah, y'all, I'm definitely excited for this new experience. I'm definitely excited to be back to my locks, y'all. I definitely miss them, y'all. In my last video where I talked about like comparing maintenance and things like that, I said that I feel like locks are definitely one of my signature looks. And yeah, y'all, I'm back. But before I go, I will take my hair down so you guys can at least kind of get a view of what we're working with this time around. So I'm gonna leave it at that because I don't want this video to be long, and I do have another video coming with the full installation process, so I'll go into more details about my locks in that. But I definitely want to just put out a video to kind of clear the air, let y'all know what's happening going forward and things of that nature. So thank you all so much for watching. Thank you to those of you who have continued to support and watch my content even after I combed down my locks. I know a lot of you subscribed to me and you came to my channel for locks, so when I combed them out, I know that it was just like a complete 180. But yeah, shout out to y'all for writing it out. Y'all know how I am. But yeah, y'all, that is going to be it. I'm so excited for the new content this year. I'm so excited to try new styles that I didn't get to try with my first set and things like that. But that is going to be it, you guys. Thank you all so much for watching. Don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Follow me on all of my social media platforms, and I will see you beautiful people in my next video. Bye.